I always thought my wife's friends were the type of people you keep around for entertainment purposes, like sitcom side characters, loud, chaotic, dramatic, but ultimately harmless. The kind you enjoy in small doses, preferably with a mute button. Then life decided to teach me a valuable lesson. Some sitcom characters can unionize and become villains. It started subtly. Anna, my wife, began looking at me differently. Not angry, not suspicious, more like she was analyzing me for hidden crimes I hadn't committed yet. Like she expected me to spontaneously confess to something. I'd be drinking water, and she'd stare like, "Is this the water of a guilty man?" One morning she hit me with this. "Where were you yesterday around 4?" I paused mid-toast. "I don't know. Committing tax fraud? Maybe jaywalking?" She didn't laugh. Not even a smile. Which was insulting because that was objectively funny. "I was at the store," I added. "Buying chicken. You literally ate that chicken." She narrowed her eyes. "You were gone for too long." "Oh, forgive me. Next time I'll sprint between the aisles yelling, 'My wife is timing me,' so everyone moves out of the way." Still no laugh. That's when I first thought, okay, something's off. The next clue arrived during girls' night. I wasn't eavesdropping. Trust me, you don't need to eavesdrop on these three. They talk at a volume that could be picked up by satellites. I walked past the kitchen and heard Mia, the unofficial leader of the group, declare, "Men always hide things. If he's calm, he's hiding something. If he's too nice, he's hiding something big." Zoe added, "Yeah, he smiled weird last time. Very suspicious." I paused in the hallway like, do these women want me to walk around frowning and hissing like a feral cat? Would that make me trustworthy? That night I asked Anna, "Is everything okay? You seem tense." "I'm just thinking," she said. "About what?" She hesitated, and that hesitation was a giant red flag waving right in my face. "The girls think," there it was, the beginning of the end. The holy words. "The girls think" are the three most dangerous words in the English language. Nothing good ever follows them. Ever. "What do the girls think?" I asked slowly, preparing for nonsense. "That you might be hiding something." "Like what?" "I don't know," she said. "That's the point. You're too calm." "I'm calm because I'm not doing anything wrong. That's what a guilty person would say." "And what would an innocent person say?" She blinked. "Also that." Perfect. I was trapped in a logic puzzle designed by idiots. Over the next days, I noticed it becoming a pattern. If I cleaned the kitchen, why so suddenly helpful? If I didn't clean, why are you distant? If I texted her, why so attentive? If I didn't, why are you ignoring me? It was like I had entered a horror movie called No Correct Answer, but things escalated from weird to absolutely unhinged the next week. We had guests over. The cursed trio, Mia, the detective with zero actual evidence, Zoe, who lives for drama and Instagram stories, and Lila, who flirts with everything that breathes, including houseplants. I walked into the living room to get a glass of water, and Lila randomly reached out and touched my forearm. "Ooh, your skin is warm," she said. I stepped back like she'd tried to hand me a live grenade. "Yeah, most living organisms are warm," I said. The girls laughed, but it wasn't a normal laugh. It was that loud, weird, synchronized, "we're plotting something" kind of laugh. A few hours later, Zoe messaged me on Instagram, "Hey, secret mission. What perfume should we get Anna for her B-day? You know her taste best." The wink emoji was unnecessary and unsettling. I wrote back, "Not sure. Ask Anna." She reacted with a heart. A heart. I showed it to Anna. Her response? "Oh, she probably didn't mean anything." "Ah, yes, of course. My wife thinks her friend accidentally flirted with me." Classic. But the next incident was even better. All of us were sitting at dinner. I was eating quietly, minding my own business, when Zoe leaned closer, way closer than necessary, and whispered, "If you ever feel misunderstood, I'm always available to talk." I leaned so far back I almost fell off the chair. No offense, I said, but the last person I'd talk to about anything serious is you. Anna choked on her drink. Mia glared at me like I'd insulted her entire bloodline. Zoe looked theatrically offended, as expected. But the absolute highlight happened 2 days later. I was cleaning the kitchen, because sometimes I do that, and Anna walked in, arms crossed, watching me scrub the counter with way too much suspicion. "Why are you acting so helpful lately?" she asked. "I spilled rice earlier and stepped on it. You think I'm cleaning out of guilt?" "No, I'm cleaning out of revenge against the rice." She didn't smile. She didn't relax. She just stared. "Is there something you want to tell me?" she asked. I placed the sponge down dramatically. "Yes, you fold towels like a chaotic woodland goblin." She threw a dish towel at me. "No, seriously, you've been acting strange." "How? Tell me, use examples." "Well," she bit her lip. "The girls think," I sighed loudly. "Anna, your friends think Amazon delivery drivers are cheating on their customers. They think clouds are hiding government drones. They once said a cat that walked away from them was sending a message. Why are we listening to them?" She didn't answer, because she knew I was right, but she also wanted to believe the nonsense. Then, everything clicked into place a few evenings later when the girls visited again. Mia looked at me with her professional, I solved the mystery face and said, "You know, sometimes the quiet ones are hiding double lives." I stared right at her and answered, "Relax, Mia. If I ever start a double life, I promise you won't be in either of them." Anna tried not to laugh. Mia looked like I slapped her with a Bible, and that's when I realized this wasn't suspicion. This wasn't drama. This was a coordinated operation. A dumb one, sloppy, but an operation nonetheless. They were testing me, probing, poking, trying to catch me in some invented scandal. And for what? Entertainment? Validation? Control? All of the above? I started paying attention. Really paying attention. And the more I watched them, the more obvious it became. They weren't trying to protect Anna. They were trying to create a story. And I decided I wouldn't play along, but I would watch and wait. Because if they wanted a test, I was going to give them the results. Once I realized the 3-woman investigation squad had officially launched Operation Catch Him Cheating, I decided to observe them the way a nature documentary observes confused wildlife, from a safe distance, silently, with mild disappointment, and it didn't take long to see exactly what they were doing. The next time they came over, I was in the living room watching TV. Not even anything suspicious. A cooking show where people scream over raw chicken. Very normal husband behavior. The girls sat at the dining table drinking wine, and every few minutes one of them would innocently glance at me. Not discreetly. No. They stared like they were trying to see through my soul and out the back of my skull. Mia whispered loudly, the kind of whisper that defeats the entire purpose of whispering. Watch how he reacts when we say the word secrets. Guilty men always react. I didn't react. I was too busy watching a guy on TV burn his eyebrows off flambeing something. "See?" Mia hissed. "He's pretending not to react. Suspicious." At this point, I started coughing from trying not to laugh. Anna, bless her, tried to redirect. "Maybe he's just watching TV, Mia." "Exactly," Mia pointed dramatically. "He's too casual. That's a sign." I turned the volume up just to make her shut up. 10 minutes later, they moved into active testing mode. Lila walked past me on her way to the kitchen and, again, brushed her fingers across my shoulder. Slowly, deliberately. I recoiled like she was handing me a live tarantula. "Oops," she said, flipping her hair. "Didn't mean to." I raised an eyebrow. "You didn't mean to touch me for the 4th time this month?" She blinked. "It's a narrow hallway. It's 2 meters wide, Lila." She changed the subject by loudly announcing, "Wine. Who wants more wine?" and sprinted off like a guilty toddler. Zoe, not wanting to fall behind in the testing Olympics, sat down on the couch next to me. Not close, too close, uncomfortably close. "What you watching?" she asked, popping her gum. People arguing about chicken, I said. She nodded like that was profound. Sounds intense. It's chicken, Zoe. She lowered her voice. Are you happy, in your relationship? I slowly turned my head toward her, completely deadpan. Are you asking because you care? Or because you're hoping for a plot twist? She blinked several times. What? No. I mean, just checking. Emotionally, I'm checking out of this conversation. She scooted away a little. Anna came in with a bowl of snacks and noticed Zoe sitting next to me, smiling like she was auditioning for a toothpaste commercial. Zoe, weren't you talking about going home early? Anna asked. Zoe's smile cracked. Yeah, still thinking about it. You should think faster, I muttered under my breath. The funniest part? Zoe didn't leave. She just relocated to the other side of the couch, but kept glancing at me like she was waiting for me to slip up and confess something dramatic like, I've been hiding a secret yacht. The next day, things escalated to digital provocation. I got a message from Lila on WhatsApp. Is Anna home? I want to bring her something. Also, what kind of desserts do you like? I answered immediately, the kind my wife gives me. 3 seconds later, she replied, ha 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 ha, you're so funny. I wasn't being funny, I was being aggressive. 2 hours later, Anna approached me while folding laundry, again with the stare. Lila said you were acting weird today. Oh? Which part was weird? The part where I told her I only like desserts from my wife, or the part where she asked me about desserts like we're in a bakery-themed romance novel? Anna sighed. She didn't mean anything. She just likes to connect with people. Anna, she tried to connect with my hand yesterday. Don't exaggerate. Would you like a detailed timeline? I have timestamps. She waved me off like I was the ridiculous one. The tension kept rising until Friday night, the moment everything clicked. We were in the dining room. The girls were over again, drinking wine with the enthusiasm of people trying to erase their brain cells. I walked by the table, grabbed a glass of water, and overheard the exact sentence that confirmed it all. Lila said, loudly, because subtlety is illegal for her. So if he reacts to flirting, we know he can't be trusted. I froze. Anna whispered back, wait, what do you mean flirting? Mia jumped in quickly. No, not actual flirting, just small tests. Zoe nodded with deep seriousness. Experiments. They were running science on me. I turned around. Ladies, I said, I am husband or your lab rat. They stared at me like they'd been caught stealing from a candy store. Mia recovered first. We're just trying to make sure you're good for Anna. I raised an eyebrow. And rubbing my arm tells you that how? She folded her hands. It reveals patterns. Really? What pattern did you discover? That I don't like being touched by other women? Wow, incredible scientific discovery. Anna looked mortified. Wait, you guys were actually… Mia cut her off. It's for your own good. We needed to see if he'd take the bait. Zoe nodded enthusiastically. Yeah, if he fell for it, we'd know he's not loyal. And if I didn't fall for it? I asked. Mia shrugged. Then we'd keep testing. Forever? Well, until we were sure. Sure of what? That you're not like the others. I stared at them, then at Anna, then back at them. Well, congratulations, I said. You've successfully proven one thing. What? Mia asked smugly. That all three of you are insane. Anna choked on her wine. Lila gasped. Zoe clutched her chest like a Victorian woman about to faint. Hey, Zoe said, we're trying to protect your marriage. By flirting with the husband? I asked. That's how we know if you're loyal, Mia replied. That is the dumbest sentence I've heard this year, I said. Zoe pointed at me accusingly. You're reacting very defensively. I'm reacting like someone who just found out he's part of a social experiment run by drunk raccoons. Anna looked torn between shock and embarrassment. I didn't know they were doing all this. Mia stood up dramatically. We're doing this because we love you. I stared at her. Please don't love me. I'm begging you. They glared at me, muttered things like, ungrateful, and men are impossible, and stormed out, leaving Anna and me alone in awkward silence. She finally exhaled. Okay, maybe they took it too far. Too far was when Lila tried to stroke my arm like I'm her emotional support husband. Anna sat down. I just thought they were worried for me. That's not worry. That's chaos wrapped in wine and bad decisions. And that was the night I made a decision. I wasn't just going to ride this out. I was going to prove exactly what was happening. Clearly, elegantly, undeniably. If they wanted a test, they were about to get the final exam. Once the brilliant trio accidentally confessed to running a half-baked loyalty experiment on me, something inside me switched. Not anger, not revenge, just clarity. I finally understood what I was dealing with. 3 women who watched too many TikTok relationship psychology reels and decided they were qualified FBI behavioral analysts. I wasn't going to fight them. I was going to document them. Call it petty. Call it strategic. Call it self-defense. Whatever you want, it was necessary. The very next morning, I started keeping track. Not like a psycho with a corkboard and red string, just simple notes. 9:42 a.m. Zoe sends flirty gif of cartoon heart. Why? Unclear. Possibly brain damage. 12:10 p.m. Lila accidentally double-taps photo of me from 2019. Claims it's a glitch. Suspicious. 16:30. Mia asks Anna if I've been acting unusually affectionate. Anna says no. Mia says, maybe he's hiding it. This continued for a week. And the funniest part? They weren't even trying to hide it anymore. They were getting comfortable, like wildlife in a national park. On Wednesday, I caught Lila in the most ridiculous attempt yet. I was in the kitchen making tea. She walked in, opened the fridge, and somehow managed to drop an entire container of blueberries on the floor. "Oh no!" she squealed. "I'm such a mess!" I stood there staring at the bouncing blueberries like they were a metaphor for her mental state. "You want help?" I asked. She stepped toward me, way too close. "Yeah, maybe just hold this for me?" She extended a single blueberry between her fingers. I blinked. "Lila, what do you want me to hold? A fruit? This is not a bonding activity." She pouted. "You're so cold sometimes. Because you're holding a blueberry like it's a marriage proposal." She huffed and bent down dramatically to pick them up, making noises like she thought someone was filming her for a romance movie. I stepped over her carefully. I'm petty, but I'm not stepping on blueberries for drama. Then came Zoe's masterpiece. She texted me at 11 p.m., which was already suspicious, because Zoe's brain usually clocked out at 9. "Hey, are you awake? I need advice." I replied, "Ask Anna. I'm literally next to her." "No, it's something only you can help with." I turned my phone toward Anna. "Explain this." She read the messages. "Maybe she needs something important?" "She said that 30 minutes ago," I replied. Then sent this. I scrolled. "I feel like people don't appreciate you enough." Anna's eyes widened. "Okay, that is weird." "Thank you," I said loudly, victorious. "Welcome to the club." Anna still tried to smooth things over. Bless her soft heart. "Maybe they're just confused." "Yeah," I said. "Confused about boundaries, appropriate behavior, and sanity." The next day, Mia initiated a full-scale interrogation. She arrived early while Anna was still getting ready. Mia sat across from me at the kitchen table like she was about to interview me for a true crime documentary. "Can I ask you something personal?" she began. "No," she continued anyway. "If someone, hypothetically, flirted with you, would you tell Anna?" "Yes." "Immediately?" "Yes." "Even if it meant hurting someone's feelings?" "Yes, Mia, especially if that someone is standing in my kitchen asking stupid questions." She leaned back, analyzing me like a broken toaster. "Interesting." "Stop saying interesting. You're not diagnosing me." She ignored that. "You know, some men hide these things. They think they can outsmart women." I smiled politely. Mia, if I ever decided to cheat, I wouldn't pick your friend group. I prefer people with functioning logic. She gasped dramatically like I'd slapped her soul. Anna walked in at that exact moment. "What's going on?" she asked. Mia spoke before I could. "I'm just making sure your husband isn't hiding something." Anna sighed. "Can we stop with this topic?" Mia shook her head with tragic seriousness. "No, we must be vigilant. Men aren't predictable." I interrupted. "And women named Mia are?" Mia glared. "Your attitude tells me a lot." "Good," I said. "Add it to your report." That evening, everything changed. The girls were over again. I came home from work and heard something I wasn't supposed to hear, because they forgot the concept of volume control again. Zoe was pacing the hallway, whispering into her phone, loudly. Yes, I know, but we have to be sure." "No, he hasn't reacted to any of it." "I know. I thought Lila's flirt would work too." "Well, we'll try again tomorrow." My eyebrows shot up so fast they nearly left my face. I stood there in the hallway laughing quietly. They thought I didn't react. Oh, I reacted. Just not the way they expected. That same night, I slipped into the bathroom and pulled up all my notes, screenshots, and chat logs. It was an impressive collection. Flirting attempts, ridiculous theories, boundaries crossed like they were on sale. And then, the moment that sealed the deal, Lila sent me a voice message, not text, a voice message. 8 seconds long. I pressed play. Her voice purred. "Hey, just wanted to say, you're looking really good lately. Don't tell Anna I told you this, haha. Just girl talk. I mean, friend talk. Okay, bye. Girl talk." With me. I stared at the phone. They weren't just testing, they were escalating. And that's when Mia made her fatal mistake. The next day, she cornered me in the yard while Anna was inside. "Listen," she said. "We just want the best for Anna. She deserves a loyal husband." "She has one," I said. Mia nodded like she was humoring a toddler. "Sure, but loyalty must be proven." "And who decided that? You?" She shrugged. "We women know when something's off." "You know what I know?" I said. "That you three are one margarita away from burning sage and accusing me of having secret girlfriends." Her eyes narrowed. "You're mocking us." "I'm restraining myself from so much worse," she sighed dramatically. "Look, we just wanted to be sure." "Then you should have trusted Anna's judgment." She folded her arms. "Trust must be earned. And nonsense must be documented," I replied. Her forehead creased. "What do you mean documented?" "Oh," I smiled. "You'll find out." And for the first time since this circus began, Mia looked nervous. It was beautiful. That night, Anna noticed my mood. "You're awfully quiet." "I'm just planning something." She froze. "Planning what?" "A presentation." "A presentation?" she repeated. "Yep, a nice one. Very educational." "What's it about?" "Your friends." She paled. "Should I be worried?" "Oh, Anna," I said, kissing her forehead. "Not as worried as they should be." And that was the moment my plan began. I was done being their lab rat. It was time for conclusions, and outcomes, and maybe popcorn. Because if they wanted proof, I was going to give them a show they'd never forget. When I told Anna I was preparing a presentation, she thought I was joking. I wasn't. In fact, I spent the next 3 days preparing like I was defending a PhD dissertation titled, "Your Friends Are Out of Their Minds, a Case Study." I organized screenshots. I saved voice messages. I even transcribed the dumbest ones, because the world deserved to witness Zoe's grammar. On Thursday evening, I sat on the couch with my laptop when Anna came over. "What are you doing?" she asked. "Organizing educational materials." "For what?" "For Saturday." "What happens on Saturday?" "You'll see." She blinked twice. "Should I be afraid?" "No," I said. "Just be present, preferably seated, maybe with popcorn." She opened her mouth to ask more, then closed it. Smart decision. Saturday arrived. I told Anna to invite her friends over. She hesitated, but the girls accepted instantly, probably expecting another chance to test my loyalty, with their world-class flirting techniques. At 6 p.m., they arrived like a chaotic parade. Perfume, loud voices, dramatic hugs, and wine bottles that would definitely not survive the night. Mia was first to speak. Of course. "So, what's this little gathering about?" she asked, scanning the room like she expected a trap. I smiled warmly, the kind of smile a teacher gives right before giving a surprise exam. "Oh, nothing serious," I said. "Just thought we could all spend some time together." Mia narrowed her eyes, suspicious. "Good." Zoe plopped onto the couch and said, "I brought tiramisu. It's store-bought, but if we pretend it's homemade, does that count?" "No," I said. "It counts as fraud." Lila giggled and touched my arm again. Anna instantly noticed and cleared her throat. "Lila, can you, maybe not touch my husband so much?" Lila froze like someone unplugged her brain. "Oh, sorry. Habit." "Habit?" I repeated. She ignored the tone. I walked toward the TV stand and picked up the remote. "Since we're all here," I said, "I prepared something special." Zoe gasped theatrically. "A game?" "No." "Magic tricks?" "No." Mia stiffened. "What is it?" "A slideshow." All three of them looked at each other like meerkats sensing danger. "A slideshow of what?" Mia asked, already regretting the question. "Of your behavior." Silence. The thick, juicy kind of silence that makes you want to take a picture of the moment. Anna turned toward me slowly. "Wait, what?" I pressed a button. The TV lit up. First slide, Testing Phase, Week 1. Subtitle, Attempted Flirtation and Psychological Gymnastics. Zoe's mouth dropped open. Mia's wineglass froze mid-air. Lila whispered, "Oh no!" I clicked again. A screenshot appeared. Zoe's message, "If you ever need someone to talk to, I'm always available." Anna gasped so loudly the neighbors probably heard. "Zoe?" she shouted. Zoe turned red. "It was for research purposes." I clicked again. Next slide. Lila's voice message waveform. I pressed play. Her flirty whisper came out of the speakers like a dying cat trying to purr. "Hey, you're looking really good lately. Don't tell Anna." Heh. "Okay, bye." Anna stared at Lila like she was about to exorcise her. "Lila? What is this?" Lila covered her face. "I panicked, okay?" Click. New slide. Audio recording. Mia whispering loudly in the hallway. "Tomorrow try again. Maybe sit closer. He has to react eventually." Anna clapped a hand over her mouth. "You were testing him?" Mia threw her hands in the air. "We were making sure he's good for you." "How?" Anna yelled. "By flirting with him?" Zoe jumped up. "We had to know if he's faithful." "He is faithful," Anna shouted. "And you three, you are insane." Click. Slide title, Additional Evidence, Bonus Material. The Blueberry Incident Video, courtesy of Kitchen Camera. Lila dramatically bending over like she was auditioning for a soap opera. Anna, "What are you doing on my floor?" Lila, "I was testing gravity." I paused the video. "And she failed," I added. Zoe covered her face with both hands. "This is unfair. We're being ambushed." "No," I said calmly. "You're being exposed." Mia walked toward Anna, flustered and shaking her head so fast her earrings were flying around. "Listen, Anna, we had your best intentions." I cut her off, pointing at the TV. "Intentions? Your intentions look like a clown show with subtitles," Zoe shouted. "You're twisting everything." "Zoe," I said, "you sent me a heart emoji at midnight." She screamed, "That was an accident." "How do you accidentally send a heart emoji at midnight?" Anna sat down, overwhelmed. Then she stood up again, slowly, deliberately. She pointed at all three of them. "Get out." Mia gasped like she was stabbed. "What?" "Anna, no." I stepped forward. "Actually," I said calmly, "let me handle this." They turned toward me like toddlers caught stealing candy. I inhaled, exhaled, and spoke quietly, almost politely. "Leave my house, all three of you." Their eyes widened, their mouths opened, but no words came out. Perfect. But, Zoe tried. No! You can't, Mia attempted. I can, I said. Lila grabbed her purse dramatically. You're making a mistake. No, I replied. I'm correcting one. One by one they shuffled to the door, throwing weak insults and pathetic excuses behind them like confetti at the world's worst parade. The door shut. Silence fell like a heavy curtain. Anna stared at me. I stared back. Now it was time for the real conversation. The house felt weirdly quiet after the door slammed behind the trio. Almost too quiet. The kind of silence that makes you aware of your own heartbeat. Anna stood in the middle of the living room, arms hanging by her sides, staring at the blank TV screen like it might suddenly turn back on and explain everything for her. I sat down on the arm of the couch, let out a slow exhale, and waited. I knew she needed a moment, and honestly, so did I. Finally, she spoke. I didn't know they did all that. Her voice was small, not weak, just overwhelmed. I know, I said calmly, but you believed them anyway. She turned toward me, eyes glossy but not crying. They're my friends. I assumed they meant well. And when did meant well turn into interrogating me, watching me, testing me like I'm applying for citizenship? She winced. I guess I didn't see it. No, I said. You didn't want to see it. Anna walked closer, stopped a few steps away from me. You could have told me earlier. I tried, I said. But every time I mentioned it, it turned into, the girls think this, or the girls said that. At some point, I realized I wasn't talking to you anymore. I was talking to a group chat with legs. She sat down slowly. I'm sorry. I nodded once. Not rude, just honest. I'm not angry, I said. But I'm disappointed. She swallowed hard. I should have trusted you. Yes. The word landed heavy between us. Not dramatic, just true. You doubted me because 3 people with a combined brain cell count of maybe 2 told you to. That hurts. Anna covered her face with her hands. God, this is embarrassing. It should be, I said. Not unkindly, just straightforward. Because what they did wasn't about protecting you. It was about controlling you. She looked up, eyes red. I don't know why I listened to them. Because they talk with confidence. Loud people always sound convincing. But loud doesn't mean right. Anna let out a shaky breath. I feel like an idiot. You're not an idiot, I replied. You're loyal. Just to the wrong people. That hit her. Soft, but deep. She moved closer, took my hand hesitantly. Can we fix this? We can, I said. But I need you to hear something first. She nodded. If you trust your friends more than your own husband, that's a problem. A real one, and not theirs. Yours. She flinched, but she didn't look away. I know, she whispered. You're right. Silence again. But not the cold kind, the thinking kind. She finally leaned against me quietly. I'll cut contact with them. I'm not telling you who to be friends with, but I am telling you what they did to this marriage. Anna nodded slowly. I won't defend them. Not anymore. Good, I said softly. Because I'm tired. I'm really tired, Anna. Her fingers tightened around my hand. I'm sorry I let them get into my head. You won't let that happen again? No, she said firmly. I won't. I sighed, finally feeling the tension loosen inside my chest. Then we'll be okay, I said. Not dramatic, not romantic, just real. Anna rested her forehead on my shoulder. I wrapped an arm around her, not out of obligation, but because I still loved her, even after the circus parade that just left our house. And for the first time in weeks, it felt like I was finally talking to my wife again, not her committee of paranoid advisors. The next morning felt different. The house was quiet, but not the tense quiet from before. More like that after the storm silence where everything is calmer, cleaner, clearer. Anna came downstairs while I was making coffee. She looked tired, but in a human way. Not paranoid, not defensive, not influenced by the peanut gallery. She sat at the table. "Can we talk?" "Of course," I said. She took a breath. "I've been thinking a lot. Last night. This morning. Everything." "Good," I replied. "Thinking is a nice change of pace." She shot me a quick glare, the first hint of her usual fire, then rolled her eyes. It felt normal again. "I realized something," she said. "I wasn't just listening to them. I was letting them replace my judgment. And that's not fair to you. Or to us." I nodded. "True. And I don't want to be that person." Her voice softened. "I don't want to be a wife who lets outsiders dictate her marriage." "Then don't," I said simply. She looked down at her hands. "I already blocked them." That surprised me. "Blocked, blocked?" "Blocked, blocked," she repeated. "No calls, no texts, no group chat, nothing." I raised an eyebrow. That was fast. Her lips curved into a small smile. It was overdue. She reached across the table and took my hand. "I'm sorry I doubted you," she said. "I'm sorry I let them turn everything into some paranoid test. And I'm sorry I didn't see how ridiculous they were acting." There was no dramatic crying, no shouting, no emotional meltdown. Just honesty. The kind we should have had from the start. Her shoulders relaxed like she'd been carrying a heavy backpack for weeks, and finally put it down. We spent the rest of the morning talking. Real talking. Not defensive, not accusatory. She told me how the girls kept feeding her fears. I told her how annoying it felt being tested like a lab animal in a badly funded university experiment. By afternoon, it honestly felt like we were back on even ground. Later that day, Anna curled up next to me on the couch. Not because she felt guilty, not because she was trying to make up for something, but because she genuinely missed us. "You know," she said, resting her head on my chest, "if you ever want to make another presentation, just not about me." I laughed. "Only if you promise not to invite your friends." "They're not my friends," she corrected immediately. "Not anymore." I kissed her forehead. "Good." We sat there quietly for a while, watching some stupid reality show where adults scream at each other about burnt pasta. It felt normal again. It felt like our home again. A week later, Anna got a long, dramatic voice message from an unknown number. But the moment we pressed play, it was obviously Mia's voice. She was ranting like someone stole her emotional support margarita. "We were just helping you. He twisted everything. He manipulated—" Anna deleted it mid-rant. She looked at me and smirked. "Quiet men hide the most, huh?" I smiled back. "Yep, and loud women hide the least." She leaned into me. "Well, I'm done with loud." We spent the rest of the evening in peace. No paranoia, no tests, no drama. And as I watched Anna laugh at some dumb joke I made, one simple thought hit me. Sometimes you don't lose people, you remove them, and life gets better instantly. If you felt this story hit hard, drop a like, subscribe for more, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support keeps Steelheart beating.